So you know that you're about to be hated by about 28 million people, right?
I'm not about to be hated. I don't know
Yes,
why.
you are.
Listen.
You already have a no Bryan fan club.
Look, at the end of the day, people can hate me for many different reasons. You can't hate me for telling the truth. If you hate me for telling the truth, that's on you at that point. I'm sorry. Listen, someone has to break the news to you guys. Y'all can't drive. No, I'm sorry. I've driven in the south. I've driven in the north. The north I can tolerate a little bit more. But I've driven in Spain, both in my car and in our camper van. And no, like I don't even know how y'all were blessed with Fernando Alonso. That there is a blessing because how did he even get there?
Which is the reason why I'm wearing this T-shirt. When he was part of Ferrari, I used to go see him in Texas.
Like you're saying, there's an what is it? There's an exception to every rule.
Ah, ahora te saben los refranes. Ahora sí te saben los refranes. Anda que.
Fernando Alonso is the exception to the rule of driving in Spain.
Anywho, I can't say that I'm a wonderful driver because I have my
You
problems.
can't drive. She's not allowed to operate anything on wheels at all.
Yeah, I have the tendency to close my eyes every time that I'm behind the wheel. So the way that I can support is by showing my love and support to Fernando Alonso, and he will be the representatives of all
No,
Spaniards
he is
in this
not.
video.
He is not. He is the one of. That is it. Well, and it bothers me because the amount of money you guys spend
Yes.
on getting your license to be this bad
Yes.
makes no sense to me.
So
this
the
this
average.
is like one of three like shocking truths for me. Living here in Spain and seeing your driving. This is one of them. Like how much money you spend on schools.
Yeah. So, truth to be told, I never got my driver license in Spain because I refused to spend the amount of money that it costs. I'm talking about 15,
Sure.
20 years ago, and it already cost, like, even before euros, it was, I don't know, it was crazy money.
That was the reason.
So, I got my driver license in the US, but here, right now, if you pass every exam, every test at first, it's about 700 euros. If you pass everything at first. Few people passes it at first. So if you're one of those super intelligent, super great drivers, leave it in the comments. I
It's
want
not
to know
here.
who passed on the
Fernando already
first
has
try for
his.
everything.
No.
But they said the average is between 700 and 1500.
That is
It can go
insane.
up to 1500. In the US, you get your learner permit and then you get your driver license. The learner permit is what they give you, and you can drive with somebody that has a driver license, and it's just after you take the theory
Yeah.
test. That the max I paid was $9 in New York City.
Yep.
Right now, though, because I did some research, getting your driver license cost in New York City is $65 dollars. Now, in every state, it changes the prices,
Yeah.
right? You guys have a
I've got
different
my
prices
driver's license
everywhere.
in New York City. I've got my driver's license in South Carolina. In South Carolina, it's $14 for everything, permit
It
and license.
was.
Was in the U.S. I mean, in New York, it was.
It was 9 when I got it.
Your permit is cheap. Your permit is between $9 and $14, and then you pay for the license itself. Which
Yeah,
is
but it's like it was like $20.
Yeah.
But right now it's 60 something dollars.
At the end of the day, it's much cheaper. And before you come for me in the comments about, oh, well, you live in New York and we've seen the movies and how your cab drivers drive, it's very simple. Out here, you guys drive to kill yourselves. In New York, we drive to kill the other driver. So we survive. It is what it is. Get out of the way.
Do you even know the statistics to talk about like death on the road and
I
things like
don't. I
that?
don't need to see the statistics of death on the road. I've seen the statistics of everything I've seen. I've been driving for over 20 years, and I've seen how you guys
I
drive.
think it's important that you also share that you were a truck driver in the
Yes,
US. You have driven
I
big
am.
RVs.
I'm a professional driver. I am. I've driven
How much
RVs
did you pay for that license? Because that has a different cost here in Spain as well.
for in total, like everything put it together. Like
Yeah.
if you go to school, if you got to get the
You
medical
have
and
to go
everything.
to school for the trucking?
Yeah.
Ah, okay, okay.
You can go for it by yourself, but you won't pass because you have to do an inspection on your truck. You have to go through all the things, know all the stuff about your truck to pass the test. Because then that's the pre-trip. So everything all together and it costs anywhere as much as your driver's license here.
1500
Yeah,
for trucking.
for trucking
Okay,
license. Yeah.
I don't know the price for trucking driving permit here in Spain, but that you describe is what we have to go through for the regular B class driving license. You have to go to medical exam. You have to take the theory test, and then you have to pay for your classes in the autoescuela, because it's mandatory that you go to autoescuela.
That's crazy.
It was mandatory to take like 10 classes. I know that's not like that anymore. Like there's no minimum requirement, but the teacher has to say, okay, you're good to take the test now. Like they have to approve. Until they don't say that, you have to keep taking classes.
I am not looking forward to, because I gotta soon do my license here, which I'm not looking forward to.
Yeah.
But all that money for a driver's license, like just the other day, I was watching a woman parallel park the car, and she did a 90-degree turn, like turned the car completely horizontal. It was a T. The road is one way, and her car is facing this way, blocking the entire road. You can't do this. And then
Okay, but there's no parallel parking in some states in the U.S.
no, but at least the town that you go into that doesn't have parallel parking in their test is designed so you never have to parallel park. On the regular streets, like how if you was going by a store or anything like that, all the things are turn-in parking. If you're in the south of the U.S., you can get your license at 16 or even younger. You get your permit at 14.
18 for us.
18? There's no like younger age that you can get.
We don't have permits like in the U.S. Like, like the permit that you can drive with an older.
So even after you pass the theoretical exam, you can't
You can drive until you don't have your practice.
Oh, so you're taking my money and I don't get no privileges until I pass this exam?
Yes. And the thing is that it is better, and you will see it because you have to go through this process soon. You have to go through the autoescuela, because if you try to do it yourself, trying to get a cita previa in the DGT to get the appointment to take the theory test, it can take you months, because they're always saying there's not appointments available. There's not appointments available, and you have to like try it every single day, unless you know somebody inside. So that's why if you do it with Autoescuela, they take care of all that paperwork. So I'll give them that.
Yeah, but that's the only thing I can give them. I don't know what they're teaching people.
What do you mean?
Because you in the car with me, so you see it. I don't act like I'm crazy.
I do, because we do have friends from Great Britain that don't want to ride the car with you.
I get us there, don't I?
Yeah,
Okay.
but that's not the point. The point is that we need to get to the point without being thrown up, without having scared to death moments.
You have the nerve to wear Fernando Alonso's shirt and then act like because I drive fast or that I drive crazy or something like that. I'm not even going to say I'm as good as an F1 driver. I am not. But I know how to drive, and I know how to get to one place to the other safely and quickly.
I can go from one place to another.
But not safely, and you cannot. What are you talking about? You cannot. I can barely see you walk from the couch to the bathroom without bumping into a wall or anything.
Allah.
Allah.
Who's talking?
And then let's not even begin to go through the roundabouts. The roundabouts here in Spain is the most.
That's right, because you don't have roundabouts in the U.S. like that.
We do, but we don't use them.
I can only think about Columbus Circle in New York.
Really? Like all
What
the
other roundabout? Tell me one roundabout in Queens.
I don't have any roundabouts in Queens, but we've traveled through the U.S. and we've gone through tons of roundabouts in Luffy, in that big ass RV we had.
Yeah, but like in Pueblos Perdidos, in the middle, in the A10, in the middle of Texas, where there's only petroleum.
Our roundabouts aren't as extensive in a town or city the way it is here in Spain. But even so, you would think you guys have mastered roundabouts, and you haven't. You can't go in the right lane to then go all the way to the left. It doesn't work like that. Let alone no signaling. You don't signal that you're coming over to the side. It's like everybody here speaks telepathy. That's what it is. Like, hey, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to cut you off.
Surprise!
I try to, when I see how people drive in a roundabout, I let them go first. Either I let them go first or I blow past them and go and do my thing, because I can't sit there and trust you next to me at all. Yesterday, all we did was go to the bank. We went into the roundabout because we're going left. So we're in the left lane. We're turning left. The woman is in the right lane. What lane do you think she got into when I'm right next to her? My lane. You think there was a signal? No, there wasn't a signal. You know what there was? Just a car coming over towards me.
Yeah, she didn't even acknowledge you.
She didn't even know I was there.
Yeah.
And this is what I mean where you try to kill yourselves. You try to kill yourselves. Why? Life is so good here. Why are you trying to kill yourself?
I did warn you the first time that we came driving into Spain. I told you, be on top of your game while you drive. Be extra cautious because we're not the best drivers in the world.
I see all the L's on the back of the cars.
That's something that doesn't exist in the US, right?
No, it doesn't exist.
Were you surprised when I told you about the L's?
I'm like, what is this, losers?
Losers.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought it was. I'm like, what happened? Did this car do? Like, I would think it's a violation when I see the L. I didn't know that it meant like learners or anything like that. So it doesn't matter if you've been driving before in another country or if you came to get your license here, you still have to put the L on your thing?
There are different agreements with different countries. So depending on what country you're coming from, like from Americans, any Americans that is watching here and is thinking about relocating to Spain, you have to take your exam and get your driver license as a first driver. As a matter of fact, when you get your new car, you get an L, and you have to put it for 1 year.
I am not putting that L on a year.
Yes, the first year you have the L.
I'm not putting that L on my car.
Yeah, so it allows people to know that you're a new driver and to be extra patient.
But that's a lie. I'm not a new driver.
But the system says that you are, because you have to take your driver license exam from zero. And actually, when you get your insurance for the car, it will go with the price of a first-time learner. It won't maintain your longevity, is called, your longevity from your driver license in the US. So even though you have driven cars, trucks, huge extraterrestrial trucks, it doesn't count. Your experience doesn't count here.
Oh, no. See, and then you got to pay extra for insurance when you're.
Yes, I already talked to the insurance company, and she said, do you have anybody else that can insure the car? And I'm like, no, because I'm in the same boat.
I'm going to say this now, and this might be wrong, but your government is a pimp. I'm sorry. They getting the money good. They're getting the money good.
Well, I wouldn't say the government. I would say the system.
Okay, the system. The pimp hand is strong with the system. So you telling me my experience means nothing. I still have to buy the L. And because of that, my insurance is going to be higher.
But it's because you come from the US. I don't know if it has to do with the fact that you don't measure kilometers and you do miles. I have no idea the reason why. Because countries like Turkey, they actually have a convenio and they can transfer the driver license here. Because, sometimes I think maybe it's because of the language, but because most Latin American countries can also change their driver license and they keep the longevity and everything. But it also happens with Turkey. It also happens with Albania, with most European countries. So I don't know exactly the reason why, but the US doesn't have a convenio.
Well, I mean, who wants to be friends with the US anyway? So I'm fine with that. Yeah. I'm just not fine with the other spot where, all this experience I have, and then now you tell me I'm at zero and I got to put this L on the back of my car. I don't know if I'm putting L.
What hurts me is the amount of money that we're going to have to pay in the insurance. However, it's not as much as the insurance is in the US.
Very true. Very true.
Now, on the other hand, we don't make as much money as when we were living in the US.
And I guess it's different in the US and here. Because certain things we do, you guys don't do, or vice versa. So, for instance, the zebra crossing, as you guys call it.
I'm so confused. I'm like, if you're driving, you're doing the same thing.
No.
Automatic cars. Maybe that's the reason. But go ahead.
We have manual cars. Our trucks are manual.
But you don't get taught how to drive manual.
What do you mean I don't get taught how to drive manual?
A 16-year-old that is getting their driver license for the first time, they don't learn manual. They learn automatic.
Yeah, I mean, the majority learns automatic.
So that might be one of the reasons.
That can't be it. There's a bunch of automatic cars out here. That's a dumb reason.
Now, zebra. So,
zebra.
First of all, you didn't know that we called those zebras.
No, I did not know you called it zebras.
So one day I don't know where we were going, and I said, watch out for the zebra pass. And I said it in English, like, watch out for the zebra pass. And what was your face?
I'm like, is this a zebra crossing? Because we have deer crossing signs in the U.S. and bear crossings and all that. So I'm like, y'all got zebras
in the city?
In the city? Where? How am I the idiot? It's a crosswalk. It's where people cross.
Paso de cebra.
I'm like, why?
Zebra crossing.
I'm like, yes. So what do you think I'm going to think it is?
But anyway, what happened to the zebra passes?
We don't stop for people.
Because you don't have people that walk.
We do have people that walk.
In New York.
Okay.
And we don't even use the zebra passings in New York. We
jaywalk. You just cross everywhere. No, but at the end, and there's very few states, or even in some of these states, very few towns where you do have to stop for people crossing. But
by law or just by behavior? Por el morro. Yo voy tirando.
By law, but For the most,
For real?
yeah, there's very few, very few. Like you'll find small towns where you'll see the because I almost got a ticket for it as
No.
well, where there'll be a crosswalk and then people can hit the button on the side and the crosswalk sign itself lights up.
And if it doesn't light up, they have to wait.
If it lights up or don't light up, you need to stop.
That's why you will get so upset with me whenever I was just crossing, like.
Like get your ass out of the goddamn street before you
a
get
crossing
hit. It's a
path.
crossing, but this is New York. You ain't gonna cross. There's a reason why this movie's like, hey, I'm walking here. Get out of the goddamn way. We don't stop for that. There's only and it's usually in the south of the U.S.
Yeah.
where the crosswalk is kind of pedestrians are protected, whereas everywhere else, do not trust the crosswalk.
Well, yes and no, because.
No.
Okay, I didn't say anything. Move on. The other part for me is the animals.
But the animals do
You can drive with animals all over you in the US. Like you can have your dog in your lap, you can have your cat in your lap, your parrot, whatever. Here in Spain, you have to keep, and we know it because we have 4 animals. You have to make sure that they're not near the drivers. Like they're not going to be an interruption for the driver and cause an accident.
Yeah.
So usually you
And right now we're playing a clip of me driving with Simba in my lap, aren't we? Yes.
Well, but we weren't in Spain, right?
We don't need to diverge.
Okay.
Well, go ahead.
But yeah, like they either need to go on a crater and on transportin, or they have to have like a separation, or they have to go to the back, but they cannot be all over you.
I don't think it's legal to do it.
But everybody does
But
it.
everybody does it.
Now, I know you don't like heels to walk, but does it bother you to drive in heels? Because I remember once we
I don't
went
drive
to
in
Asturias.
heels.
Not in heels, through heels.
Hills.
Hills. Oh my God. Remember when we went to
When you try to kill us? Here in Spain? She's the navigator. And I keep trying to trust her as the navigator. And she keeps doing crazy things. This was what, 2 years ago? We went up to Asturias and you try to kill us. You send us off.
Galicia. Though.
Galicia.
It was after.
And you try to send us off a cliff.
We were going. Yeah, I was trying to find a place to pernoctar en nuestra caravana. Y Google Maps gave me directions that took us through the road
jungle.
of death.
The jungle. And
Do you still have footage of that?
I don't think I have the footage. I have a photo of where it was. It's a beautiful spot. Beautiful spot. Not a spot for you to go in a camper van though.
Yeah, not even with a 4x4.
You need a 4x4 to go there.
You shouldn't go there.
You should. It's beautiful.
You should just walk there. Park
outside
road
and then walk there. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Right now the photo's probably showing. This is where it is. It's very beautiful, beautiful spot. And now I'm gonna zoom into the photo so you can see exactly where our camper van was. And we lost some parts to that camper van there on that hill trying to get it out of that spot.
Yeah, I almost get killed too.
Yes.
Because I fell under the caravan, the furgoneta.
I told her just to get out the car, let me know where the tires are. And all of a sudden she vanished. She stepped out the car and she vanished. I'm like, where is she? And apparently she went underneath the damn van. But that's another thing.
Treat me like I know every single street in Spain. I was born here. I was raised here. But 1, I don't drive. 2, I don't know the whole peninsula. So I don't know. And you were like, where are you taking me? Where's this road? I don't know. I'm just following Google Maps.
Yes, so follow Google Maps.
I did.
Google Maps is giving you information. That was not where Google Maps sent us. That's where you sent us. Google Maps sent us somewhere. You was like, nah, I want to be like Bugs Bunny. I want to miss my left turn at Albuquerque. And I want to go down this road here because this looks interesting. This looks green. It's forest. It's one with nature. What is the word you use? Natureness? Nature. You wanted some natureness down there. Done.
Explain it to me.
Please.
No hay peor ciego que el que no quiere ver.
No hay peor?
Peor.
Worse?
Ciego.
Okay. There's nothing worse?
No hay peor ciego. Ciego is blind. A blind person. No hay peor ciego que el que no quiere ver.
What does that mean?
It means, okay, I have to get ready because I have a lot of pressure because now all the comments are like, she's not explaining the things right to you. You should leave her.
If you think those are the things she's explaining right to me, go ahead, please.
Okay, so it doesn't matter how much you explain something to somebody if they don't want to accept the truth, or if they don't want to, they live in denial. So they don't want to accept the truth. It doesn't matter how obvious they are. The truth is, they just don't want to see it. So
Are you putting that towards me or towards Spaniards?
I'm just saying, it's explain it to me.
You just-
No hay peor ciego que el que no quiera ver.
Who's not accepting the truth? Why did you pick that for this one?
Because I thought it was appropriate.
How is that appropriate?
Because I close my eyes when I drive.
Why are you shaking?
Nervous. I need a beer.
You're sitting here.
You're stupid.